And then there were 4. The CAF Champions League has reached its penultimate phase, and for the 4 teams left, the dream of African glory is still alive. For the second time in this competition's near 60-year history, the semi-finals will be contested exclusively by teams from 2 countries, and it's 2 of the biggest, most influential, and most rivalrous of footballing nations, South Africa and Egypt. Hi, I'm the Football Otaku, and welcome to my preview and predictions for the CAF Champions League semi-finals. Well, we're right here in the business end of the competition, and thank you for all of your support throughout this competition, throughout the previews and the predictions and the reviews. And if you guys are liking the content, you know what to do. Like, share, subscribe. Before we get started, I know I'm going to bring up my quarterfinals predictions. I only got 2 out of 4. I didn't expect Sundowns to edge past Esperance, and I sure as hell didn't see Pyramids blitzing past FAR Rabat. But both teams were phenomenal to get here, and both teams by that deserve to be here. So I'll admit I got 50%, which is a pass mark in some schools. So that's fine. It's okay. And we keep it moving. But anyway, that was in the past. We're now looking towards the present. And we start the semi-final preview and prediction with Mamelodi Sundowns Football Club versus Al Ahly Sporting Club. One of the greatest rivalries in African club football returns. Well, it wasn't always like that. I mean, if you had told anyone who watched the 2001 CAF Champions League final between the 2 clubs and told them that these 2 would be 2 of the biggest challengers for African glory, you would be pretty surprised. But fast forward 20 plus years and these 2 have had classic matchups and will be meeting each other for the 5th time in a CAF knockout tie, or in a Champions League knockout tie. This Al Ahly though will have a superior record. Sundowns only have 1 victory over Al Ahly in the Champions League knockout ties. But that 1 victory was a pretty famous one, 2019, when they absolutely decimated the Red Devils 5-0. To this day, it's Al Ahly's worst defeat in CAF Champions League football. Al Ahly would win the return leg 1-0, but of course that was never enough. Since then, the Cairo side has dominated the head-to-heads, winning consecutively in 2020 and 2021. Literally the tie was copy and paste, 2-0 at home and 1-1 away. And the last knockout game that these 2 would play would be in the now defunct African Football League, a tie that Sundowns won, 1-0 at home and 0-0 away. Sundowns though will have something on Al Ahly, and that something is that the Cairo side haven't beaten Sundowns in 7 straight encounters. No team in African football has that kind of a record over the Red Devils. I mean, that will probably play into Al Ahly's hand, head, and maybe more into Sundowns' hand. Sundowns, of course, got this far by edging out Esperance de Tunis, getting it back in blood against Les Sang et Or, winning 1-0 at home and drawing 0-0 away, while Al Ahly were very professional in beating Al Hilal 1-0 home and away. For Sundowns, though, the treble dream is dead. Unfortunately, they were defeated the very next game by Kaizer Chiefs in the FA Cup semi-final, so that was a pretty big downer, a last-minute and controversial goal from Ashley Dupree. And with the recent change and the recent development in the league, Sundowns' lead isn't as large as it was. It's now a 9-point gap against a Pirates team who have games in hand. So the league championship isn't as sewn up as we thought it was. For Al Ahly, on the other hand, things aren't looking too rosy as well. I mean, they will not be winning the Egyptian FA Cup this year. They are challenging for the league title, but again, they are a little bit behind there. They trail Pyramids, and there's a strong or even a numerical possibility that the Red Devils could even miss the Champions League next year. So to avoid a first trophyless season in 21 years, they have to win the Champions League. So all their eggs are on this basket for Marcel Coller's men. Even to the extent that in Cairo, allegedly, there are calls for Collar to get the sack. For players to watch for Sundowns, as much as the goals come from Shalulile and from Ribeiro Costa, my man to watch for Sundowns will definitely be Marcelo Allende, a player who I praised last week in the quarterfinals. Someone who really showed that fight, that determination, but also is very silky on the ball. He scored, he has goals against Al Ahly before, so he'll definitely like playing these opponents. And I feel that in a game of this magnitude, knowing that he's played the previous two semifinals, what a lot of the Sundowns team have, I feel that he will have that experience and sort of that motivation and vendetta to see the tie through. I definitely see him as having a influence over this tie. For Al Ahly, on the other hand, Imam Ashur has been the top scorer of the Champions League with 5 goals. McGregor, as I like to call him, scored the winning goal in the tie away at Al Hilal, and even scored a hat-trick away at Stade Abidjan, which practically saved Al Ahly in the Champions League. I mean, at that point they were going out, losing away to the Ivorian side. I do feel, though, it's going to be very, very important for Al Ahly to get a result. They've never won here in South Africa before, so it's going to be very, very interesting to see if Al Ahly can reverse that, and they're going to need to. They're going to need it to be level, especially when they go to Cairo for the second leg. My prediction for this tie, I mean, this could go right down the middle. If Sundowns can replicate, literally copy and paste their performance against Esperance, all 3 hours of it, then I definitely see them going through. I mean, it was a performance that was mature, a performance where they didn't overextend themselves like they normally do, and they will have the positivity of a good personal record against Al Ahly, which will definitely play into their hands as the tie goes on. I feel that for Al Ahly, though, this is Al Ahly in the knockout stage of the Champions League. This is what they live for, and Al Ahly always, in this part of the competition, always seem to get the job done. So it will be for Al Ahly, for them, they will want to keep it as a minimum before they go to the second leg in Cairo, knowing how dangerous this Sundowns team can be, knowing how this Sundowns team really have the number on them. Al Ahly are gonna have to really keep this one tight, and I hope to keep this one tight before they host them for the second leg, and they don't want the tie to sort of get away from them. It's a very tight one to call. I mean, this could literally go anyway. It will come down to a goal, maybe even an away goal. I, though, see Sundowns just edging it, similar to Esperance. I mean, Sundowns will be very buoyant and very confident after that Esperance result. They can feel they can take on anyone, and will give them that positive sort of reaction. And knowing that they have a coach like Miguel Cardoso now, I feel that Sundowns will be able to sort of put in a mature performance and marry that with a style of play, or definitely marry that with a style of play or a style of football that has in the past challenged Al Ahly and has irritated the Cairo side. I feel that they might be able to do enough and finally will have what it takes to beat the Cairo side when it matters most. So my prediction will be Sundowns to go through. In the second semi-final, it's Orlando Pirates Football Club versus Pyramids Football Club. For one team, it's history they want to repeat, and for one, it's history they want to make. For Orlando Pirates, it's a return to the Champions League semi-finals, a first in 12 years, and they'll be bidding for a first title in what will be just under 30 years, and they will be driven by emotion, by quality, and they will definitely have that drive to want to succeed. For Pyramids, on the other hand, they have truly upset the apple cart and have truly disrupted the order of African football, and have become have taken what was just hype and talk into actual substance. For the Buccaneers, It's been a pretty decent week for the Buccaneers. Of course, they finished off MC Alger in what was a fantastic performance over 2 legs, doing what needed to be done and qualifying for the next round. The Jose Rivero farewell tour is getting a few more dates added on, and it will be the start of a very crucial period for the Buccaneers. Of course, they'll have this home and away court semi-final against Pyramids. They'll have the derby in the league, and then of course the FA Cup final, which just happens to be another derby. They defeated Marumo Gallants 1-0 in the FA Cup semi-final, so for them that was a big result to get to a third straight cup final, something Jose Rivero has definitely gotten stronger at, or definitely got strong at in South Africa. It's a reputation he's built as a great cup coach, as someone who's been able to coach Pirates and coach them into these big situations and coach them into these derby games and huge matches, which is why they always seem to come out of the other side the better team. So for Pirates, it's been a great week for them. For Pyramids, it's been an even grander week for them. I mean, they were able to get a result against Al Ahly to stay at the top of the Egyptian Prem. They're in the cup final against Zamalek, and they're playing a first ever Champions League semi-final. Pirates also will be chasing for the treble as well. Like I said, the situation and developments in the PSL means that they're only 9 points behind with games in hand over Mamelodi Sundowns. They've reached a third straight FA Cup final, and they are here. So for one of two teams, the treble dream dies here. For Pirates, again, they edged out MC Alger in what was a very mature performance. Although I expected them to be a lot more enterprising against Melodia Club over the 2 legs, they showed more steel and determination over those 2 legs, which is what you need in African club competitions. They were able to hold firm and take the opportunity as best as they could. They were able to strike when they had the opportunity, with Mahon Kota scoring the crucial tie-winning goal in Algiers. And they were able to come home and sort of see the result out and show what emotional intelligence. I've mentioned this a few times. Pirates show huge emotional intelligence against an MCA team that was very antagonistic towards everyone. They were antagonistic towards their opposition, antagonistic towards the referee, and very antagonistic. Well, their fans were pretty antagonistic with security, but we're not talking about that right now. So Pirates showed a huge degree of emotional maturity to get to this part of the competition, and it's really been a hallmark of Jose Rivero. And even in the cup game against Marumo Gallants, where they played a very changed side, I mean, they had to, with the fixtures coming thick and fast, Pirates showed a degree of maturity and showed a degree of grit and determination to see that tie out and to get to another cup final. So I feel that will definitely be one of the strengths for Pirates. The Pyramids, on the other hand, they took FAR Rabat by absolute surprise. I mean, FAR Rabat were overwhelmed, and Pyramids were just banging in the goals. Ibrahim Adal and Fiston Mayele were absolutely doing a number on the Royal Armed Forces, combining on numerous occasions, catching Pyramids on the break. Catching FAR on the break and scoring the huge result to make it 4-1. They would almost throw that lead away in Morocco, but they were able to see it out and to make it through to this semi-final. My star man to watch for Pirates will be Rele Mufokeng. I mean, he's probably one of the hottest talents in African football, and he's definitely been living up to the hype in the Champions League. I mean, he's got goals throughout the competition, and even in games where he doesn't really have a lot of influence, like the MCA game away, Rele was able to score or at least create an assist and be able to have an impact on the game. Even when he was sort of being mocked out or kept quiet, he was still able to have a influence on the tie, and that is a very great quality to have. For Pyramids, I look to Fiston Mayele, and Fiston Mayele for the last couple of years has been one of the most hyped players in African football. I mean, he was the spearhead to their Confederations Cup run that Young Africans had a couple years ago where they made the final. He was top scorer of that Confederations Cup that year. But since he's moved to Pyramids, it hasn't really worked out for him, especially on the continent. I mean, Pyramids' one and only Champions League appearance, they were grouped, and Fiston didn't really come across with the goals. I mean, he famously or infamously ghosted a game against Mamelodi Sundowns, and he never really looked the same since. But this season, both domestically and on the continent, the Congolese striker has looked absolutely fantastic. I mean, him and Ibrahim Adel have combined to devastating effect for the Sky Blues, and I feel that for them, both home and away, he will be the danger man for the Sky Blue. And him, with a supporting cast of Ramadan Sobi and a lot of other top stars for Pyramids, they will be banking on the Congolese striker to take them to the promised land of that first ever Champions League final. To predict this tie, I feel this will be a polar opposite of the other tie. Well, the other tie will be incredibly tight. It'll probably only have a goal in it. This tie, I feel, will be a lot more open. These are two sides that are able to play top football. They're able to play attacking, enterprising football, and they're able to sort of play a brand of football that will be very, very pleasing on the eye, and it'll be very, very open. So it'll be down to who sort of defends better. I feel though Pirates, I mean, both teams aren't that experienced, but I feel for Pirates in their recent success, especially in their cup competitions, I feel that Pirates will probably have the edge here. Of course, they've not played a game like this before, a Champions League semi-final, but they have played major cup games before, unlike Pyramids, who've only just recently became successful. So I feel Pirates might be mature, they might handle the game better, they might win those big moments better, especially in the home leg. So I feel that it will be a match that will be very close. I feel there'll be quite a few goals in it, and I feel that it will come down to who can handle the pressure better, both home and away, both here in Johannesburg and over in Cairo. Who will be able to handle the pressure better, who will be able to win the big moments better, and who will those moments fall for. And I feel at face value, I'm leaning towards a Pirates victory, especially over the two legs. I feel that they might be able to do the business at home and then show a degree of maturity that they'll be able to, or degree of maturity, and that they'll be able to sort of sew the tie up away in Egypt. And that's it. Those were my predictions for the CAF Champions League semi-finals. I have, of course, predicted an South African final. I mean, it's not a biased prediction, but I feel like that's where we could be leaning to. Of course, I could obviously be wrong. In fact, hit up your prediction. Who do you think will be winning in the semi-finals? Who would you want to be your dream final, and who would you want? Who do you think is the player to look out for? Hit me up, of course, in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and try feed the algorithm so that people are gonna want to see this video. Until next time, it's been your boy, the Football Otaku, and remember, real football always wins. Deuces.